lanes and everything are going to go up. I think I liked how Quinn pointed out at the end a lot, just the volatility of these lanes can sometimes be a little bit weird. And I will say, I think it's likely we can probably go for the 3 rounds, but I think that there's also a high chance the OG could get run over because I think the Lycan, he could have a decent lane, and I think up top, I'm always a little skeptical about the Pango in the off lane.
Okay.
So I could see that even going like kind of pretty difficult for him. You're getting Silencer Slarked, you're losing Int potentially, you're giving Agi, you're gonna they're gonna be a really strong early game and Entity. This is a really comfort kind of draft with them, with the tree, with the DP to kind of dictate the pace, and Lycan to just run over the Drow potentially. So yeah, I think a little bit of volatility in the off lane and looking at how these lanes are gonna go will probably, at least for me, look to determine things. But things have gone crazy, so who knows?
I know, it's all insane. And that's the thing, too, is that with that last-minute switch-up, you know, keeping in mind kind of what we saw there, the panel was wondering, I think we were wondering, too, behind the scenes, if it was going to be DP mid, if they're going to run DP in the off lane. They decided to swap it up, and then it was like, okay, well, maybe Pango can live over there, because... you know, there are some issues occasionally, I guess, with getting on top of heroes with Slark Silencer in the lane, at least. Like, in terms, do you think that there's, obviously, if people die, it's going to be horrific. But is there any way that they have to, like, pull waves or whatever?
I don't like that top lane.
Okay.
I don't like Pango off lane, but I think they wanted to make sure that the mid lane has a better time, and they wanted to have this Lash versus Slark matchup, because we've seen that one all the time. Sure, once Slark is able to get, like, Mage Slayer and stuff like that, you're able to stand your ground, but if Lash gets on top you, Edict, the ult goes right through, so yeah, I think it's all going to come down to how at least the top lane goes for me and how the bottom lane, these two off lanes. Mid lane, I think, is kind of a wash, so I'm not really going to be looking at it too much. They should just be able to kind of trade decently versus each other. I don't think anyone should get too bullied, at least in the first waves. And yeah, top and bottom are the ones to at least watch. Top is the kill lane, more than likely. Bottom is a bit more of like this farm kind of style, but I think Toby should be able to have a good time down here.
We'll watch for him, indeed, playing on that Lycan and trying to deal with Misha and Yuragi pairing together. We saw an absolutely stellar Lesh performance in the other previous series by Stormstormer. BZM trying to do it now on his Lesh. And he has also had a remarkable couple of games.
Absolutely. I think they're trying to set him up for success. I think that's, at least for me, when I've been watching OG, it's when they look their best, if they babysit and just make sure BZM has good matchup and good overall game plan. And I would say it's pretty good for him. It's just, yeah, it's all depending on the volatility of how top lane goes, if this Pango can actually have a game. But yeah, I think he is set up for success. You have Heavenly Grace being thrown on the Lash. You have that matchup that we mentioned before versus the Slark, so yeah, we'll see.
Taiga to be careful there. He did die a couple of times last game on his Rubik, but it was constant refills bottle of that mid for his player as well. BZM was getting so much farm there constantly. And playing on the Rubik again this time.
I'm astonished to what's going on. Toby has actually missed like 5 last hits that I've been watching just now with his Wolves. Like,
he doesn't have one yet.
He actually literally just didn't get. It's not that they like did not. He just missed the last hit. He got a bit unlucky, I think, with some damage coming in.
Well, it's getting late, you know. These players playing from all over. DM does get a little bit of separation there. Fishman is just beating these heroes down. As you said, it's not a great lane.
No, it's a tough lane, especially at the start, and they're already kind of running low on regen. DM is out of regen. They have 1 Tango left on Taiga. There's a pounce up in 2 seconds. Might just go for the play, and if they don't be too careful. And the lane's actually pushing into the side of Entity, so concerns for OG up in that top lane, as I'd kind of anticipated. But bottom, as I said, Toby, he's also, I mean, he's not struggling on HP, but he's just not getting that many last hits right now, which is definitely interesting.
Well, yeah, and that can sort of be its own problem. I mean, obviously they're going to need to invest in more regen up top and all the rest of that. But if Toby's just not getting the last hits, then, you know, game's not going too well.
Yeah, and he's the one that wants to counteract the Drow, just getting on top of her constantly. I mean, should have a pretty decent timing on the helm of the on his Helm of Iron Will anyway, but yeah, missing significant last hits definitely slows that down.
Totally. Did manage to get a couple pulls around. Katomi playing on his tree again, and one more wolf going down there. Yeah, this is a huge wave coming into the Drow.
Yeah, really. I mean, they're playing the lane really nicely because of all this. So yeah, Drow able to get free farm. Toby now has got a couple, but Drow, yeah, 11 and 4 at the moment.
And Watson just zoning back DM, keeping him completely off of the wave.
They've got the lane just pushing into their favor constantly. There's no pull available for OG, so yeah, this doesn't feel like it's going to get much easier for the side of DM. While on the other side, I think Toby, he's actually able to do this kind of weird play right now where he's playing between the tower, and we also see the pullback as Fishman. He'll be okay.
Yeah, keeping himself alive there. The wave is meeting underneath the tower a little bit, so that will finally get a little bit of pressure back the other direction. And you can see mid 21-4 on the DP versus the 15-4 for that Lesh. So
nicely done from Stormstormer.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of variety coming up from the Death Prophets in the mid lane. Some I've seen skip bottle, especially in Eastern Europe. I've been seeing like they even have gloves and like a blades of attack in the laning phase, just to be able to dominate lane without having to worry about runes. So this time around, it will be OG double checking runes. Stormstormer won't get the refill, but he's still doing so damn well middle that it's not the biggest deal for him. DP is excellent laner.
And you're seeing that up top even now. Things getting a little bit easier for DM after the wave pushes on out. Get a couple of denies here and there. And the boots coming out soon too. So no first bloods. That first scary Sage has sort of been dealt with a little bit here.
Nice deny.
Yeah, well played by Toby.
Can't give up too many of those wolves. They add up. Level 3 soon coming out for Katomi, but they always have the Dispel, so he's just throwing it on creeps to heal them up rather than going aggressive, so that it doesn't just get like dispelled with the Heavenly Grace. Katomi knowing all the little tricks. Toby now. It's level 4 on the Drow. Toby could have been in trouble.
Yeah, need to be careful. The slowdown is there, but forcing him back really far. And that is a little bit scary. If Drow's just free to beat away, and Fishman goes down. Taiga is the one that draws that first blood. DM trying to get some separation. Does still have to swashbuckle, and that keeps him away from Watson.
Nicely done. Out trading. They were really low on regen up top. I don't think they brought any more out, and they also lost the courier earlier on the silencer. So yeah, they were just completely out of regen, and Taiga able to out harass. Really nicely done.
Yeah, not often you see that against the silencer.
No, definitely not. Especially now when the Slark is in versus like a Pango. So yeah, really well played.
So that first blood means he'll be able to bring out a bunch more regen for this top lane, have a better time for it. BZM did go all the way back to base, and it is now coming back out.
And Stormstormer, even without getting the bottle, I mean, he got the bottle filled up afterwards from the silencer TPing in, but not getting the rune at first. Yeah, really nicely done. Already has his treads, but is going to lose his ward almost immediately. BZM puts down the sentry, got to spot the positioning from it, but now we're seeing lots of rune congestion, and Taiga playing near the cliff, waiting to try to bait Fishman, perhaps. Mid lane.
The movement in. They find him. Stormstormer, level 6. BZM in some trouble. Misha tries to keep him alive. The slowdown, but it's not going to be enough. Stormstormer finds that kill, and Taiga also in some trouble up in the top lane. Gets punched one more time by that Slark. So good rotations coming out.
Love the move coming out from Katomi. This is why we've talked so much and revered his Treant Protector. Even just rotating mid early, gets that impactful kill. Stormstormer, he still has a Siege alive too. Sure, he's not going to get Exorcism hits on the tower, but we'll be able to get at least some auto attacks onto it. So forcing some reactions at the least. And yeah, it was a trade kills up top. Fishman committed. Fishman died for the cause.
Okay.
To give Watson the stack.
And Stormstormer picks up the Arcane afterwards. Obviously would have loved to get that Exorcism with that, but maybe can save it for long enough. We'll have to keep our eyes on that if he can get another round of Exo going.
It's level 7. BZM is just hitting level 6, so, you know, was talking about how, for me, it feels like OG a lot of times they do need BZM to have this really good start to kind of dictate tempo. This says a lot for me, at least for how Entity is going to go into the mid game. And they're all about the early aggression, as Panel was talking about. They're looking to kind of just run over these towers early on with this Lycan plus DP draft. Yeah. And Toby, he's going to have that helm pretty soon. So his start was a little bit slow, but so far now looking good. 32-11 to the 28-11.
Ooh, and Watson just finds him under the tower. He was dragging that wave for a really, really long time, trying to double it up and keep himself alive, but does end up being brought down.
That's a big deal. This Slark now top of net worth.
Yeah.
So almost all 3 lanes looking slightly in the favor here of Entity.
And
looking for more pressure.
About to get dove, has to throw him back towards that silencer. Katomi keeping the punches on, and no TP rotations for the help, but Taiga still manages to create enough separation to keep himself alive.
So much emphasis on tower though. Look, the Fishman's hitting it. They still have Stormstormer attacking it. The Arcane Rune might actually just be up in time still for the Exorcism. Misha will deny away a rune, but Entity, early aggression, looking pretty good. Toby's 6, and his helm is done. So now for Yuragi, probably has to skill the point in Gust early on down bottom just to be able to keep himself safe, and they can't leave this Drow alone. Yeah. Otherwise, Toby will just completely overrun him.
It's a really scary moment here, and particularly depending upon what creep Toby gets. You know, he gets a Centaur, or I mean, any of these types of heroes, maybe even a Troll, you could start pushing with the skeletons.
Yeah, I mean, any of those big creeps are going to be really impactful. It's mid, yep, I think. Did he get it off before? I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
He got it off right
there
as the Arcane Rune was ending, so that Exorcism, it's going to come up that much faster. And now BZM.
Tower, there's still a bunch of heroes nearby to help him out.
Okay.
Taiga down low, but gets the Tranquil Boots delivered.
Entity playing this early game perfectly. Look at the double ward coverage also, so they see the 2 rotations coming to mid immediately, and this tower's dropping pre-10 minutes.
Yeah, that's a big one. So they make the kills happen, a couple of different side lanes, and then take the tower mid. 2K gold lead at 9 minutes.
They're going to start just really, I mean, they're even finding a stack. Okay, Stormstormer's like, sweet. Finds a courier too.
This is what they need, but Stormstormer can't afford to get brought down here. This could be a big one, but double Spirit Siphon.
Yeah, double Siphon's out. He's fine. Strength Treads and the Silencer behind.
This DP mid is looking great.
And the big thing about this, too, is when they're able to get mid tower, they're going to probably go bottom very soon because it was an Arcane Rune with the Exo. Yeah. It's back up in 40 seconds. So bottom tower is in jeopardy also. And OG's map, with a Drow Ranger, it's kind of greedy. They have to have some time for this Drow to sit back and farm, and I don't think Entity's going to really look to give them that much time.
Watson's even taking these ancient stacks here.
Oh man, that's huge.
They're being just absolutely annoying. They're taking everything.
They're playing this early game absolutely perfect. 3K gold lead already for them.
Well, 10 minutes in, and Stormstormer holding it down in that mid lane. There is still the movement down bottom where they're starting to take the tower with just the Lycan. Drow had to leave.
Yeah. It's like if you want to defend this, you might have to actually swing DM bottom and maybe even multiple heroes just to stop this. And will you make it in time? Toby's already got it below half HP.
Yeah, and even if you do have to bring somebody down here, then what? They're just stuck.
Yeah, and also Stormstormer might just TP down as well. And he's got another Arcane Rune, by the way.
Holy moly.
He could just look to fight with that. Doesn't have many Siphon charges, though. He's actually down to 0. And yeah, they can't even react. They're scared. Because they also don't see Stormstormer at the moment, right? Him off the map is a threat. So if they do TP down, they're like, oh god, we could just get surrounded as well from the DP. So looking to just play a little bit more of that farm game to try to catch up. But yeah, hell of an early game from Entity.
Yeah, for OG, obviously what they're waiting for is, you know, more levels up, the ability to try and team fight with DM eventually. He's trying to get into that mechanism. But this timing from Entity, when they are so much stronger, it's buying a ton of space for Watson to get into his items.
He's got the Diffusal done. So they've got Diffusal, they've got Kaya on Death Prophet, and they've got the Helm, plus getting relatively close to Vlad. So Entity's hitting incredibly fast timings.
Yeah. Watson will just go for the Dark Pact, take that one off. Diffusal Blade fully completed. Now, there is something that always sort of is tingling in the back of my brain when I watch some of these lineups is there like a worry that if you're not keeping up that momentum that you could start to like allow OG back into it at all? Is there any worry that, you know, as this game gets later and they get their items, OG have the tools to fight?
Perhaps like way later or something, yeah. But I think that the pace that Entity's going to try to set is really try to hit these towers and just keep closing the map. Don't let them play greedy. Because these wards too, that top ward has not been taken out still. So they're just watching BZM kind of farming over here. They're watching Taiga. So they have all the information in the world.
God, speaking of BCM, he was very... Where's a Clockwork Flare when you need one?
Right.
Jeez.
And they're even stacking camps, so we see Stormstormers setting up Ancient stack too.
Yep.
And now Power Rune. It's going to spawn up top. Not a massively impactful one, but...
Tries to turn back the Toby creeps. And
he's got the Troll.
Come back in.
Yeah, and he's got the Troll, so
yeah,
he's going to be really happy. If he's able to hit any tower even for a couple seconds, it will drop.
Now, the only reason that I was sort of asking about that is if I was looking back at the tiebreakers as a whole, we've been averaging about like 50, 60 minutes, it feels like. All these games are going crazy late. Now, some of that just might be Tundra Gaming, but there's some of that, too, that happened in this
got the root
G versus Entity match we had the first time. Can they bring him down? The leash is there. A little bit of extra duration with that mech before he goes down, and DM gets out.
All right, that's a root baited. Can they take advantage of that in any way, though? Doesn't feel like it's very easy. No. Yuragi's still holding a skill point. I like this. So hasn't been threatened yet, but holding that point just in case he does need the gust to push them off of himself. And now, OG trying to hit some towers here. Immediately when Edict is popped, they get the glyph. Stormstormer is ready to play.
Now they do have Taiga over to the side here, still trying to whittle this one down. I mean, this is not dropping very quickly, and they still have a tree.
And it's a scare. Like Toby might just look to get the wraparound on them soon.
I mean, there are all 5 heroes from OG here. If you want to make this type of play, it's good to bring numbers, but if you bring numbers and you lose, you basically lose the game, and they're going to start running in right away onto Toby. The jump in is there. Misha in some trouble. They pull him back. Global already used as the exorcism's been popped, trying to TP away. Drow Yuragi, he gets out just barely. So they do force a lot of rotations, and Taiga gets some good damage out there, but now DM and Misha, they're in trouble. They get chased a little bit for the moment, but they bait out a bunch of big ultimates. Don't lose that much.
Oh my god, what, 100 HP or something onto Yuragi. Super close to just dying. Yeah, you can see the threat of them trying to go for this push. Drow in this high ground position when there's an opening with no tower behind. Lycan can just get the wraparound. I think they're a bit lucky to get out like that. And now tower, it's like, guys, you know, OG, it's, you know, they're probably feeling that pressure of like, man, we kind of have to go back to the mid lane soon, because otherwise, Katomi's just going to keep it full HP, as we're seeing all those towers besides mid are pretty much filled up. That's his specialty.
True, true. Only 2 points up in it right now, as obviously want to get aggro in the laning stage, but we'll continue to spam that.
Yuragi's coming in. Yeah, he knows. He's like, I gotta hit this tower, guys. We cannot let this just get full healed up.
Now, the plus side, obviously, is Exo, Global, and Shapeshift all used for no kills.
Absolutely.
That is what they were hoping to do. Make the play, get the tower. That was close. Fishman trying to sneak one in there.
Nice little attempt.
So they do get the trade-off of towers. Entity still up one objective.
Yep, I think Entity's still pretty okay with this, but OG, I think they're a bit lucky to have gotten out with the Drow there. That was very close, and they're going to get some stacks going, so they're going to be able to play this farm game that they kind of need to play to catch back up after these rough lanes.
Yuragi going in for that Hurricane Pipe also has the Shard queued up. Would not hate to see that one finished off if he can get there. Lesh trying to get towards the Bloodstone.
They need to get these smaller items so that they can keep their distance and slow down and kill this Death Prophet up, who's having just such an amazing game, really. Stormstormer, just like last game. He's clearing off Ancient stacks. I think he's got the Kaya Sanj already finished. He's going to be very threatening, and I think that's the Helm of the Overlord done. Oh, he left the Black Dragon, but...
Is they going to take that for
Yeah, he is. He's going to grab that one. It's one of the better ones, so... Got to heal up a little bit. It's going to take some time, but... Early timings, 15 minutes. All 3 cores near at the 7K mark. OG? Guess this is the Bloodstone timing. Looking to play around that. And I think, what, Greaves maybe? Yeah, looks like it.
Just about.
Yeah, Bloodstone and Greaves. It's coming out on Courier. So they've got that counterplay versus Global in the silence, so DM can actually get a roll-off.
Fishman gets found there for a moment, but we'll get the tree armor and then back away. So no real opening here for OG to find any type of a fight. BZM is going to pop that Bloodstone, push out the wave, and maybe try and shut down some of this area where Watson's farming.
He's playing it cool and calm here. You know, they're not feeling like they're too pressured after having this type of an advantage. They're giving Katomi the lane as they usually do and just farming jungle and forcing OG's hand.
Katomi found, lifted.
Who found
Where's
who?
the rest of his team? Taiga nowhere to be found. He is in trouble. And they're all over to the side there. Taiga tries to keep himself alive a little bit longer, but it's not going to happen. The jump in comes out. DM thinks about the TP away, does not want to be here anymore. Misha also pops the ulti. BZM TP's out. So as soon as all the big ultimates are popped, OG just evacuate.
I love how, I really like how Entity's posture. They're forcing their hand, right? They're like, yep, come to us. We still have our ult at the ready. You're going to overcommit a little bit, and then they immediately react. This is how they were playing before, too. Just the quick numbers always collapsing on top. This is beautiful to watch.
And level 2 Exorcism now. After this tier 1 tower gets down, they can go right into Roche.
I think they just go now. I think they just let the summons finish it off. Level 2 Exo. They still going to have Rolling Thunder, but it feels like a dangerous position for them to fight into this.
Now, this is all scouted, so they know what's happening. OG.
They know it's scouted, though. Watson pings it out right away. So he's like, yep, there's a ward in the area.
Gonna try and take this one down. DM very nearby, throwing out the swashbuckle. They need to come in and fight this. Will they be able to, though? They pop the smoke.
It's already dead.
It's already gone. And just a little bit too late. They still want to fight, though, it looks like. OG.
He's high-fiving. He's like, I'll give my life for this, for the cause.
DM just didn't want to go in. A little bit too afraid.
Yeah, I think it's just like these little moments where, yeah, you jump, you like almost roll in, but then you can't roll in to start because then you'll get, you'll get overgrowth. Sure, you've got Greaves to dispel, but that's enough for them to kind of reset away. So, Entity, hot moves. It's early game.
Getting everything done. A 5K gold lead, 3 to 6, 18 minutes in.
And cool itemization too. Look at Toby. the Helm of Overlord into the Helm of Iron Will to get the Nullifier. So getting that Purge versus Misha, going to be really effective versus both Heavenly Grace and the Guardian Angel.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And versus like Hurricane Pike, which Yuragi is going to need to be able to protect himself. So,
well, they are going to move in and try and take another Tier 1 tower on OG.
Okay.
Claiming that top one with the Edict.
I think Entity is going to look to give this one up. They don't have Stormstormer's XL, used the Global earlier, so looks like they're content giving it up and just farming. Stormstormer is, continues to just be absolutely massive. Buys the casual cloak, gets some magic resist, buys the plate mail for that physical, for that plus armor versus Drow as well.
Yeah, they're enormous.
They all, I mean, it's so much plus armor, right?
Yeah.
They have the Toby Lycan, who has that helm plus helm, so he's at 27 armor. They have tree armor that's going to be thrown out onto people. Yeah, it's going to be a ton of plus armor that the Drow's going to perhaps suffer to actually bring these targets down once they start committing on her. And she is going to get committed on every time by the Lycan.
It feels like she needs so many items to sort of keep up with what they're doing.
Absolutely. After the way that this early game has gone, you know, BZM getting surrounded multiple times, losing his tower. Yeah. He's fragile. Like, BZM could just die also, is the scary thing, if they get onto this Lesh.
That is, of course, where the Heavenly, or not the Heavenly Grace, the Guardian Angel is going to come into play if they're all together and grouped up, having that really high physical resistance. But, of course, when the Nullifier comes out, that's the answer.
Yeah, it's just all gone then at that point. And they do at least have some types. They don't have the craziest amount of mixed damage on the side of Entity. A lot of it is going to be that physical, even from Ghost and stuff. But, yeah, it's definitely feeling like it's going to be a bit of an issue if they just sit back, finish off that Nullifier quick.
Well, nonetheless, 5,000 gold lead, and towers taken. All of the Tier 1s gone for OG. On the side of Entity, it feels like it's just waiting for that next round of items, because there's going to be, well, plate mail casual on Death Prophet, but queuing into the BKB, like we see for Slark trying to get into an Aghanim Scepter. A lot of things that can just sort of accelerate the fights and make it work really well in their favor.
Yeah. OG's just never able to take advantage of...
Sorry.
Misclick? I think that was a misclick. Okay. Sorry, miss, what I think.
Dude, it's just like slamming his hands across the keyboard.
Keeping their energy up, you know, it's getting late.
Look at him. Playing one-handed, even scratching.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
So yeah, Entity, everything's back up for OG. They have everything up, but committing into these fights is very difficult, as we've seen. If they get put into a position where they're the ones charging forward, they might just die. They don't have the best form of initiation until these blinks come out. DM getting closer. I believe Rubik has his, but not the easiest tools to jump into this Entity squad.
No, it's a really tough one.
Watson, Sunags, yeah, they're just distributing farm really nicely on the side of Entity.
And everybody getting farmed.
Yeah.
Now that Pango's still a little bit behind.
Cool, a Blink Dagger, so
interesting.
You see these picked up a lot on these ranged heroes when you're playing versus like Drow and Sniper. It's all about getting on top of them. And also a Blink on Tree, so feels like maybe Entity are going to look to kick up the pace a little bit since they've got this itemization now.
That is crazy. They have so many Blink Daggers.
Yeah. That's going to be problematic.
Yeah.
Yuragi's positioning is not going to be easy.
I mean, that paired together with Slark's Ags and then just Lycan being Lycan.
Yeah.
All of these heroes are going to be able to get on top of him with the exception of Fishman.
Who doesn't want to?
No. He wants to stay the hell away.
Yeah. So it feels, yeah, Entity have a very good game plan going into this mid-game.
And for OG, mission is keep Yuragi alive, make sure Misha gets that ult off in a good position. And I mean, I guess, like, keep Lesh alive to just deal the damage?
It might have to be the Lesh. And then, you know, it's difficult. It does feel hard because they're kind of just squishy all around.
Yeah.
DM probably just has to be like the suicide to force reaction onto him to try to protect Yuragi and BZM. But yeah, it does feel like it's going to be hard for Misha to pick which target he's going to just protect in these.
Well, again, for OG, it's do or die here. If they want a shot at the major, they need to win this best of one. And for Entity, trying to close this one out, it would be huge for them, because not only would it be going to the major, but I think they would finish third in the DPC for Western Europe, securing a nice little chunk of DPC points there as well.
Entities now, I believe this is the timing. They've got the Nullifier finished on Lycan, so now they can really just pick and choose whatever target they want to go for. Whoever Toby gets on, very likely dead because of it. He's about 100 gold away. Watson's got Ags. Everything coming together, so feels like this next moment could dictate kind of everything for the game. They feel quite ahead. Besides just the 6K, they just feel like they're going to be able to steamroll over this Drow, but let's see if they can. They have great vision up, too. So they have this deep ward. This is the specialty of Katomi. We've seen on his tree. Look at this. They have full information right now. Uh-oh.
They see everybody. They know DM's alone in the mid. They jump onto him, good blink away, runs into some more, has those Greaves still, but just gets eliminated. He did not stand a chance.
And
Misha
now,
was coming in, but
BZM.
He's in trouble. Needs to get out of there. The overgrowth comes out. Does he have a way to TP away in time? No. The leash, the turn, the bloodstone. It's pretty good for the heals, but it's not enough. Way too much damage.
And, oh, Stormstormer even gets Misha. This feels like the game has just completely gone into Entity's favor. They just waited patiently for this timing. They still have global. This feels so difficult. And now, I was mentioning there's a slight window where, this Lesh versus Slark matchup, Lesh can do really good because, all your damage goes through. The Slark now has Mage Slayer. So
right.
Mage Slayer's, sorry, actually, I think he switched.
The Axe. Yeah.
No, he does. Sorry.
Okay.
He has the Mage Slayer coming out, and he has the Axe. So where's the damage going to come from? Your Lesh is not going to do it. Your Drow's going to be getting run down. So, OG.
It's looking very difficult for them. The game is not easy at this point in time, and it feels like it's going to need to be a ton of different mixtures of things. Quick disconnect there from Yuragi as he's going to be coming back into this game. But yeah, incredibly hard to keep your distance from these heroes.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing this really, I think this is one of the more methodical games I've seen from Entity. It's just nobody's kind of forcing the issue. Everyone's playing back, chilling, waiting for their item timings, getting great ward coverage. They're de-warding like every single ward because they have a Slark as well who's just carrying sentries. So OG's got no info on the map, and they're just getting completely run down constantly. They look 15 and 10. You see all these kind of been taken out here from Fishman.
Very, very well played by him.
Yeah, that's super disciplined, very methodical, and
that ward's still alive.
Still alive. Yeah, we see that win probability already ticking up to that 81%.
Those are the wards that hurt the most too, right? Because you're not getting a kill under those wards, and now smoke under that one.
Oof.
That one will probably get found, but even still, it's just all of the vision of knowing where everybody's at.
I like how Fishman even throws out that he disconnected after he sees the smoke. Like, such confidence. They're just getting into OG's head.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is...
They know how far ahead they are right now, both in terms of gold and ability to fight.
Yeah, they get the scan perfectly. They know exactly where OG's positioned.
Will at least get the Helm of the Overlord creep.
Yep, 253.
Katomi very happy about that. It's BZM running down this bot lane. And Katomi throws out those grasps whenever he wants to.
Yeah, he's just keeping bottom lane shoved in, top shoved in. They take care of middle, and then, uh-oh, the Wolves, they're on Taiga.
They find him. Watson immediately there. Steals Dark Pack, not going to do all that much for him.
Uh-oh. And now, Misha.
Dude, if they keep looking for more, they're in trouble. Yuragi trying to get away from Stormstormer right on top.
Uh-oh.
Trying to keep some distance. Now they
Fire.
do have global. The chase down could turn, though, as DM looks for the Rolling Thunder. Won't go for it, though.
Can they get anything out of this, though? I mean, it is an exorcism. Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't actually the exorcism. Never mind. So, yep, they don't actually bait anything except for the global and the Wolf. And Katomi is going to look to just cut the wave still. And that's a buyback from Taiga. And instantly loses his ward. So, yeah, pretty much no vision on the map for the side of OG.
OG, I mean, this is the really telling thing about it, right? Like, look at 5 heroes grouped together in that corner of the map, and all of Entity spread out across, farming a little bit, waiting for the next time to take a fight.
Yeah, they're just chilling back. They it's really one of the most methodical. Like I was saying, like, Entity's just playing it pretty much perfectly, and they still have this ward down. It's been almost full duration.
Watson, Stormstormer. They just jump on top of him, find him, get the disarm, wants to separate, wants to get away. Not going to happen.
I can't believe this ward is still up. This is like winning them the game.
It's so crazy. Both that one and the one down bottom.
Yep.
Unreal. 9K into their lead and 3-11. I mean, next Roche is going to be back up in 40 seconds, and I don't see how OG come and contest that.
No, definitely not. I mean, they're just, if they try, it's going to be back up as soon as Global comes up, back as soon as Shapeshift is up too. And the itemization that comes out for Lycan, everything that you build is so damn good when you're playing versus something like Drow Ranger. So this felt like the perfect pick. He's getting close to AC, so all the plus armor for his allies as well, on top of living armor and everything. Yeah, it feels like they have all the answers. And just gorgeous wards this game, really. Even another one being placed around the area of the Ancients. I think that one is maybe going to get... Yeah, this one is spotted, but...
I mean, it's crazy if you think about sort of the trajectory of Entity this tour, of sort of falling down, struggling at the beginning, making a comeback, and now being on the verge of being one of the top teams coming out of Western Europe to go to the Major. It's been quite the tour for them. Absolutely.
When they switched up too, right? Losing Pure and getting Watson instead. But yeah, Watson seems to be a very perfect fit for them.
Well, definitely making their mark felt here, and still some game played, or to be played for OG. They can make something happen. BZM queuing up both the Blink and the Plate Mail. Feels like you might just need to get that casual one right away, but I mean, also you need to sort of get the Blink to get your positioning right. It's rough.
It's all hard. Yeah, it's all just difficult. It feels like he's going to have to do 2 heroes or 3 heroes worth, because even though the Drow has good farm, besides all the plus armor, they're also playing versus max Howl.
Yeah.
So the attack damage reduction, if you pop your Manta early, you're just going to get Howled and do nothing.
Vision, lift, try and blow her up right at the start.
She's
BKB reaction. Stormer, exactly what they needed in that moment. Can they keep them all alive? They do have the Guardian Angel. BZM gets the stun onto Slark, trying to take him down low, but it's not enough for the kill. BZM chased by Watson. They can't stay on top of him.
Okay.
Yaragi's in the middle of nowhere. This
Watson
is kind of working, but not sure if it's going to be enough in the end. The big overgrowth connects onto 4, but there's no follow-up. The rest of his team is gone. Katomi went in with no help, and suddenly OG, they actually take a fight in good fashion.
That was crazy. I can't believe they got away from Stormer. I thought he was going to be able to get a couple cleanup kills, but now into the Roche pit.
And
OG.
I mean, you're seeing some of these decision making. I wonder if that looks different if Stormer had his shard. It didn't end up having it there and didn't have the real control afterwards. OG suddenly, they're looking to get this Aegis. I think they got it.
Fishman, is he going to try this?
Oh my god, he's crazy. He's crazy.
He got the shard.
He gets the shard, but will give up his life afterwards. That's worth.
Absolutely worth it for a 5 position.
Yeah.
All right. OG somehow bring it back after, even though they're at this like 10K deficit. They didn't have the tree. I think that's the big thing. Katomi wasn't in position. He's the control to keep them inside the DPO. They were able to just reset away. So, all right. Maybe calling a little too soon. You know, it did look pretty impossible, but OG find themselves some comfort to be able to sit back and get some of this farm and some of these items that they still feels like they do need to be able to take a direct fight for Entity.
It was a pretty bold move, Stormer just blinking into all of them, to be fair. And I think that you know, was sort of a good response by OG, immediately getting the lift. Couldn't get the follow-up after with the BKB popped, but still.
Yeah, he's got the vision of them and just got, you know, been playing super methodical on the side of Entity. This time they make a little trip up and not having their tree to get the control. He's literally their only way of catching people besides some pounces, so.
Right. Well, Slark has Shard now, along with Katomi on the tree, and it looks like they're ready to go again.
They still feel strong.
No Exo for 15, but they're running up top to try and take this fight.
This is not quite the AC yet, but yeah, that Shard on the Slark perhaps is going to be able to cover and protect them as Toby scouting with Wolves.
Ready, pops that shapeshift. EZM runs into everybody. Turns, silent, still willing to stick around and fight. Drow has that Aegis. Katomi finds the jump. DM immediately turns, gets the Rolling Thunder off. Misha taking a ton of damage. He dies. No ability to get back into this fight, and the rest of OG just need to run away.
Buyback.
Okay.
It's an Exorcism forced, only to get a support kill. Same for the Tree Ult and Global. So lots of ults expended.
Entity still building gold lead as this happens, as the buyback came out.
And having, you know, still getting this big itemization versus the Drow. The AC is soon to be finished. But OG, not giving up too many of those big kills, resetting decently.
Right. And that is the plus side of their lineup, is that very low cooldowns with the exception of GA. So we'll see how it goes, but for right now at least, Entity still look incredibly strong. And it's just a question of if they can get that good fight. But are some of these itemization things causing some issues as well? Like, are OG getting into anything that might change the tides of this a little bit?
Not quite yet, it feels like. I mean, a little bit tankier, of course.
Right.
They almost have BKB on Yuragi, which will help them a lot, but still feels quite difficult for them because, you know, Entity, they're getting that better farm across the map. And their items feel like they're going to be a little more impactful, to be honest. Like Stormer, the levels as well, too. Buys the Shard. He's got level 20. So
Right.
now he's got his own way of catching and sticking on heroes where he's got the Spirit Siphon move speed slow. And soon to have Shivas, so more plus armor, negate the healing of the Lesh and stuff like that.
Does look like they're trying to get into some more of the mass force staffs a little bit, as Taiga has enough gold for it, and I think is just about finishing it off now.
Okay. Misha's still quite broke, though.
He is broke as a joke.
Yeah, he's just got arcane boots. So no force staff to protect. His positioning's got to be everything, right? If Misha gets caught in a weird spot, he's just going to die, and the fights could just completely swing into Entity's favor. But yeah, gonna have to be eyes on how he is standing.
And BZM, after the blink, does have that plate mail. Trying to finish off the Shivas next, and looking to take down this creep. Getting a little greedy for it.
He tried to deny it with his wolves. The force staff it away.
Oh my god.
And there's the AC finished, so.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Completed now. But you see, I mean, Lesh, Drow, they're about on parity, a little bit behind the Death Prophet and the Slark. And it's mainly just that big differential of gold between the supports, obviously, and then also the Pango DM behind the Lycan.
Yeah, just still the nature of how the draft works versus the Drow. Right now there's an Aegis, and we still see Entity perhaps looking to just fight into it.
Oh, Yuragi. Manta back away, tries to separate, just has to run. Taiga's already dead.
Uh-oh. BZM.
He's in trouble. The BKBs, they're doing so much work. He is gone. And now Yuragi also in trouble, forced to BKB out of there. The damage, it's not quite enough. He barely lives.
They were split up completely. They need to have like perfect positioning. They just get caught a little bit too far forward and just get completely destroyed from Entity. Doesn't matter if you have Aegis. Can't use it if your supports are out of position, so they get caught.
Yeah, there is just no way to fight that if you're getting jumped on at the start. And
when does it feel like they're gonna be able to fight?
Yeah, you know, you're not wrong.
It's just feeling so hard because they have so much overwhelming damage on the side of Entity. So much, I mean, not that much control, but just damage. DM rolls in and he's just almost dying to Exorcism.
It's an interesting sort of solution in a way to Rubik, right? Like, you're not getting your damage from your spells. It's just all right clicks and minus armor and physical damage, and he's just sitting there like, what do I do?
They just get on him so fast, too.
Yeah.
It's like he gets pounced, can't do anything when the Slark jumps on you. You're getting wolves and everything surrounding you. It's tree blinking on you. It's just really difficult for these supports to protect their cores.
We'll have the Lotus Orb completed now for Pango, so 2 separate ways to deal with this global. Well, Fishman is trying to finish off a refresher.
Yeah, he's quite farmed, actually. He's just been kind of sitting back. Katomi is massive as well, too. He's got a Philosopher's Stone. Of course, we didn't port that one out, but yeah, Entity still feels like the game is completely in their control. They did have a little bit of a blunder around the initial rush bit, but doesn't seem to have changed the pace at all.
No, gone back to very clean, safe gameplay, it feels like. As OG going to make a big wraparound. BZM going to hook up with his team as they head together up into the high ground.
Watson almost has a nullifier of his own now, too. So, I mean, they can easily now focus onto both of these targets, the Lash and the Drow, whoever is graced. Guardian Angel. It's Taiga. All right, Fishman.
In pretty far with DM. They find him.
Katomi, 4-man root.
And suddenly, the global comes out. They need to back away. Got to keep their buddies alive. Do they have anything there at all? They get the GA off, but it's not going to be enough. Yuragi being covered by DM for his retreat. So another round of these supports just dead as Yuragi hoping to find a way out of there. The silence comes out, still has BKB, and then also a Hurricane Pike again in a second, gets the push away, but DM in trouble. He manages to actually survive through that first salvo, but the jump away, and he's good. Now are they in too far? Nope, Watson's right there, and the BKB comes out. Katomi onto DM, trying to keep him alive. They have one buyback. Taiga in. Dude, they're diving behind the tier 3 towers, and Rubik able to steal Depth Shroud.
Okay.
Oh,
Toby.
man.
Maybe Toby doesn't get away either. I think, yeah, he looks dead.
Nice rotation in. They went way too far on Entity, and OG able to punish.
Couple mistakes coming out from them. I mean, still looking really comfortable for them, but I think the call must have been like Stormstormer's like, I popped Exo, let's go in, and Katomi's probably like, I can catch this, you know, this Pango under tier 4s, but oh god, we're under tier 4s and there's still tier 2s up, so
true.
Little overzealous there from Entity. Get punished from the buyback.
This Depth Shroud steal could be huge.
Could be huge to be able to at least like try to protect himself.
Or even the Lesh or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got to try to survive. I mean, he's like you said, the support positioning is still feels like it's so hard for OG, and see how long this Roche is. It will be advantageous for them.
The timing on it could be everything that they need.
Let's see. 3 seconds. 2, 1.
This one is like instant. Could be pretty
A
good.
minute.
It's a minute away.
It's actually perfect timing for Entity.
We'll take the outpost back, so OG maybe can get some vision up here.
Got some wards down as well, too. There's a gem on the Slark from way earlier, though, so those won't last too long unless they play around them.
You know, I think it's important to recognize that, like, this draft, incredibly hard for OG. Entity executing really well, a couple slip-ups here and there, but it's still going the way where Entity are very much in control. OG are going to need to play like madmen to make this work.
Yeah. As long as they they don't make these super crazy dives and too many more times on Entity, they still look to be in a very comfortable spot. 30 seconds on EXO.
Moving out now.
Scouting with Wolves as well. They've been doing this a ton here on Toby, just trying to get any information. Parking the Dragon inside the pit too, so that's the scary thing is they're going to see this Roche and they're going to be able to commit into it, and it's going to die in instance. A full butterfly onto Yuragi.
Whoa.
Decent amount of damage going to be coming out from him, but they have to stay all around this top area. They have to keep themselves near Roche because it's just going to die in seconds to the Exorcism when it's up.
Yeah, and hard to make that sort of checking constantly with this lineup. Like, they don't have an easy hero to send on in there. Everybody's so important to the draft, and then on top of that, you know, you don't have any of those summons that get thrown out here.
Yeah, no like Clockwork Rocket or anything like that. So, see neutral items being picked up. Earlier, Timeless Relic was picked up by Stormstormer. Spell Prism now being passed over to... This guy's going to go to one of the supports, maybe?
Yeah, potentially.
Yuragi does have Ninja Gear, so positioning can be a lot better for him. And Misha has his own Dispel. So Flicker being picked up for the Omni Knight could be pretty nice to at least not get, you know, globaled and just controlled and do nothing.
You always love these tier 4 neutral items, right?
Yeah, I mean they're the counters to Silencer. You know, it's like so many of them have this built-in kind of Dispel to be able to try to protect versus the first round of global.
Right.
But soon we're gonna have the 2 rounds because Fishman has been quietly farming, so he's about 800 away from his refresher.
Yeah, Stormcrafter for the Lesh and Flicker for the Omni. And they see that Roche is going on now. They blinked on in with Taiga, I think.
Okay.
So they're aware. BKB now completed for Lesh. And you start looking at this 12k gold lead. I mean, buybacks are also something we could potentially be watching for here. Dire have a couple of them. Radiant, not that many at all.
Oh yeah, they might just look to kind of bait something out perhaps on Entity and then look to take the fight with those buyouts. Stormstormer hanging on to gold. Stormstormer near 25 as well.
Jeez.
Very close, level 24 on him. There's the Wolf.
Oh, even has the Tome coming out now, so he's going to try and finish that off.
He'll pretty much have it after this.
Oh! Okay. So close.
Catapults, and he's got it. All right.
Well, OG now, all they can really do is sort of sit back and wait for a good fight to come their direction, it feels like. Maybe a smoke-out play could be in the books soon.
They have to be very cautious because they can't leave the Roche even for a couple of seconds. It'll just drop in an instant. And Stormstormer commits, so all the gold is expended on this Death Prophet.
All right, no buyback on DP.
Yep. Now they're just going to have to let the other heroes lead the charge, be it the Slark or the Tree.
All right, do you have a Lotus available too? So if DP ends up silencing or hexing herself, could be a little bit scary there, but a smoke up comes out, and they're going to go for the wraparound.
Watson commits the gold too, actually. So 160 short of buyback, but a full Bloodthorn. So that butterfly, they scouted it out on the Drow. Now they're going to have something to go through it. She doesn't have the BKB or something to get rid of it.
Moving in. There's a ton of vision here for OG.
Taiga.
He breaks it, blinks back. Quick reactions.
That's an exorcism.
That is exactly what they needed.
They got to go into the Roche with this. They'll take out the ward.
OG, they can get in position at least to come and try and defend against this. They smoke up immediately.
It's a level 25, so look at all the ghosts. He took the talent.
So much damage and throwing out 1 round of the multi-shot. It's dropping really quick. They need to come on and contest this, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it in time.
No, it's gone.
They move in a little bit too late. Will find a quick little bash there, and well, Yuragi's starting to punch into Watson. They find him there. Force Staff keeps him away. Now the roll back and forth. BZM right on top, finds it onto Fishman, blows him up, and now they're running for more. Need to be careful. They find him before the Dark Pact. The stun follow-up. Watson not quite going to connect in time. Silence out, but Watson taking so much damage. OG, this is actually working. They take down the Slark once.
He put the refresher shard.
He does not have another round of Exo. The turn onto him and just drops down to death. He doesn't have buyback. They bought out for this. Everybody has to run. Taiga stealing the overgrowth.
My God.
OG, they've actually done it. What an unbelievable fight. They needed perfect everything, and they got it.
He's 40 gold short of the buyback. He's probably telling his team, go find a bounty rune right now on the
Dude,
Slark.
give me the Philosopher's Stone. What
Give
are
him
you doing?
something, yeah.
Oh my God.
Holy moly, they actually get on top of the Slark. And he moved the refresher shard in to try to refresh and get the BKB. They tried to silence cover him, but they get on him. Stormstormer.
Dude, they need this so badly. The buyback already comes out. Slark about to have it again.
Oh my God, OG.
Can they do this? I can't believe that they won that fight.
After being at this like kind of deficit and just playing Entity playing kind of perfectly all game, they're actually going to be the ones to lose the first set.
And level 25 on BZM. These
Drops
diabolic explosions. This is 2 sets. If
Oh my
Slark doesn't
God.
buy back, they're taking 2 sets of racks.
He doesn't want to buy back. 30 seconds.
Oh my God. It hurts. It hurts real bad for them. And this is going to be Entity dropping 2 sets of racks
Holy moly.
against OG, and suddenly gold even.
The Dota gods want us to go for the next round of the tiebreakers, it seems like. Entity still can probably look to take another fight after this, but a big window for OG getting rid of Aegis. That was massive.
Unbelievable.
And the important thing is like who's holding what, right? It's the refresher shard on the Slark, wasn't able to use it, couldn't pass it off to Death Prophet to be able to get a second round of ult to try to fight. OG relentless with their chase down.
Ragi almost has a full Scotty done, although I'll be
Holy
honest
moly.
with you, I feel like they might save for buyback.
I think so. I think Watson maybe thought that he had enough. He was so close to being able to have it.
I mean, didn't end up doing it in the end anyways, but
Yeah.
bottom tier 2 still alive, and I mean, they have refresher shard on the Slark. I mean, this is the scary thing, is that because they've got so much tower pushing potential, if you're Entity and you win a fight, you can still run down a lane very easily, but there's tier 2s up. And we can take a look at the graph
It's a pretty crazy one.
over the last couple of minutes and what we've seen. What a swing.
Unbelievable, really. OG. Forcing that. It's like these weird kind of forces, right? Because Taiga gets caught initially. The Exo gets forced by Entity. They get the Roche, but then they can't actually retreat in time. They try to commit for a kill and just get fully kind of countered because of the way that OG played.
And I mean, we pointed it out, like how hard this game was for them,
Yep.
and how difficult it could have been for them to mount a comeback, and they've done it.
Yeah, and they still have overgrowth now too. So even getting these like crazy jump forward steals. And now Misha, he's gotten his first item. So
Let's
positioning,
go.
he can perhaps try to always get in that position. Even though he's been in very good position most of the fights, he can now do it a lot easier. Entity definitely feeling a bit concerned now.
So, I mean, how much does this change with the items that we've now seen OG get? How much does it change the way these team fights are going to take? Like, is it still a really hard fight for OG?
It depends on the positioning of Yuragi.
Okay. Well, Yuragi now over to the side. You see that swing 80% to 74 the other direction, and they're surrounding Katomi a little bit here.
They still have the overgrowth on the Rubik. They're playing it careful. DD rune up top. They're waiting for the waves to push in too.
It's not that much longer left on that overgrowth. Katomi lays down a ward. OG trying to play around one of their own, and Toby's going to walk right under it. Wait, they all are.
They've got wolf vision.
The
Stormstormer.
lift. He's in trouble. Yuragi right on top of him, pops that BKB, but the BKB from Yuragi is bigger. Trying to get up close, trying to break through that Agi. Taiga's dead, but Yuragi just still
Stormstormer.
blinking away and killing him. Yuragi gets up on the high ground. Oh, the clipping. The clipping is sometimes good, sometimes bad, and this time it's amazing. Although now Watson's stuck up there. They need to get him back down. The depth shroud keeps Watson stuck. He's able to get the jump away, but the lift, they pull him back. Can't quite get him down.
They're able to just hit the Death Prophet, though, and bring her down. She couldn't get the siphons onto some targets to get some heal going in time. My God. I mean, Yuragi, in the midst of everything, still able to hold his ground versus the Globals. I think that was both of them as well.
Jeez. Well, they are sitting very pretty. They did end up finally getting up there onto that cliff to find the drow.
I mean, these fights are still crazy, right? It feels like it's anybody's hands at this point, even though after such a methodical game, Entity OG, they've found their timings.
Taiga almost with the BKB again, but they're going to wait for this Drow to come back to life before they try and make another aggressive move, most likely.
Yeah, Taiga, I mean, his buybacks multiple times now have kind of been just like perfect to be able to go for these targets, just to help out his team, to let them retreat or let them chase forward.
And DM about even with the Lycan now. He's trying to get into a Gleipnir. Wow.
Yeah, this is unreal how they've been able to do this. Refresher on the tree. Katomi has been quietly farming up and holding about 5k gold.
Okay. And for the side of Entity now, I haven't really seen that much progression in items for Toby.
No, they've been stuck on all this for a while. Where's the refresher? I mean, they used the refresher shard earlier for Watson. He's almost got a refresh. He's got a refresher of his own. Okay, so now he does have the BKB, double BKB and double protection for himself. But we do have the Drow now with the Scotty. So that was even before Scotty, and they're able to focus fire the Death Prophet because they get the initial go onto Stormstormer.
Might need, I don't even know what you need at that point because she's already got tons of, you know, plus armor, blink dagger, all the rest of it. Maybe overwhelming blink or something.
Maybe when Katomi hits 20 and just like pre-armoring her, because I think he's about to hit it. So plus 8 more armor, so plus 20 bonus onto the Death Prophet maybe could be the difference. Maybe. Who knows? It seems like it's so much been up to just execution at this point.
True enough. And if you can keep her under control and these BKBs wear low, that's, I mean, that we're talking so much about the Drow, but there's still this Leshrac that has the plus Diabolic Edicts explosions.
Yeah, and he's now problematic. I mean, the damage that he's going to deal just with the overwhelming blink also versus Toby. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
3,800 HP. Dude, I told you, these freaking
games.
Qualifier games, what is going on?
I did not expect this one after the way that Entity was playing, right? It was so clean. Everything was kind of perfect. And then a couple of these dive plays, a couple of these overextensions, OG punished it heavily. So super impressive that they're able to do this at this deficit that they had earlier.
Right. It feels always like it's just so stressful to play in these games for these players. I got to imagine.
Absolutely. Now they have the buybacks on the course on Entity, so they're looking to get aggressive themselves.
Group together. Watson jumps in.
Misha
jumps
forward.
Out. What? Oh, that wasn't how it was supposed to go. DM now rolls in. Things getting a little bit spicy here.
Oh, that was definitely a misclick there from Misha.
I wonder if he clicked on his mini-map. He was trying to like blink back to the left and maybe clicked on his
top right, maybe?
Yeah, click the top right of the mini-map.
Must have been something like that.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Not dead too long, though, because he's only level 17, so back up in 30 seconds.
Okay.
But a DD was claimed from Watson during that inside the bottle. So
that's a slacks line right there.
Nailed it. I love that one. It's a good one.
50 minutes.
Poising themselves aggressively. There is a ward here for Entity for a moment. So they're going to see BZM. They're going to port over.
God. They need to get here quickly to take that ward out.
There's no Omni.
What?
He's in.
Oh my God, they found him. OG, the positioning, this has been the problem. If they get caught out here, they're in a terrible spot. Taiga's dead. Yuragi in a ton of trouble.
He's rooted.
But the root comes out. Katomi on him. OG, they just walk out under a ward, aggressively positioned. No D ward. Oh man, that one hurts.
It was like, what, the last 10 seconds of the ward as well, I believe? The ward is now gone, so they're pinging it, being like, there was a ward there. But very aggressive posturing from them when they don't have their Omni Knight, and they get punished for it. Entity come out big. Minute left until the Roche, though, so they won't get too lucky with it. Drow still going to be dead, though, for 20 seconds when it's up.
Yeah, that is a very lucky respawn time for OG.
And Entity, how do they look to play these next moments? They're going to try to push their waves out. They still have massive shift stacks on Watson, still up 21, and he has that 25 talent, so he's ready to fight whenever. Looks like they're just going to fix their lanes at the moment, waiting for Roche.
Trying to reset some vision right now for Misha.
DM. This is some aggressive posturing from OG.
They're like, one way or another, this game's ending. Gleipnir done for DM.
There's another rune going to be coming out in about 3 seconds. They're pinging top, hoping they can get one.
Katomi, BZM, they're all converging on his area. Jump away. He revealed himself.
He canceled the hit. He didn't get the attack off to get the root. Oopsie.
It's getting late for these players. You can feel it.
Roche, 1 second. Instantly spotted. Exorcism still on cooldown, but they're going to kill it so fast. Drow's not going to respawn in time.
throw out one round of the Swash. And the Gleipnir, given that vision, BZM throws out the split earth, and the lift now, they find the tree. He's gone.
It's a global.
Now can they find anything else? Drow back up 5 seconds away. BZM trying to survive through all of that damage. The BKB is there, and Toby right on top of him as well. DM positioned to kind of defend against
They're on
him.
DM.
Taiga jumps in. There's the chase. Watson has to back away. So Ragi back up again.
Tomi uses the buyback, has ulti. Stormstormer has ult in about 10 seconds. The Roche is low.
No buyback for this Rubik. They want to take it. Stormstormer goes on in with the vision.
Ragi gets scouted.
4 staff back.
4 seconds for Exo. Entity might just commit into it.
Yeah, and I think if you're OG right now, it's so hard to take this fight. How long until Rolling Thunder? 20 seconds.
But look at the waves, though. Mid lane starting to push in, top as well.
Yeah, these racks that were taken, it's becoming a bit of a problem. What can they do?
They're going to pop the Exo. Stormstormer makes the call.
Trying to run on in. They have the Drow Illusions in that are scouting all of this, trying to do some good damage. Hex out already onto DM. Silence connects onto that Drow. Jump forward, tries to get it. BZM. They snatch the Aegis on Watson, but that's the Aegis on to the Slark. But they run in with BZM. He's able to steal a Refresher Shard. He's going to pop it here in a moment. It's a stun. Huge win for him. Turns it around, trying to survive. Pops that Refresher and is able to get out of there scot-free. Hex for the moment. Misha tried to get out on the other side, but it's not quite going to be there. The Tier 4 towers are starting to take damage. BZM going to TP away. And that is going to be the full reset.
They got the Ags on DM, and I believe he got the cheese as well, too. So they stole 3 parts of that Roche. Actually, technically 4, because they got the last hit, too, right?
Oh, my God.
So last hit for Radiant, Ags, cheese, and Refresher Shard. So holy moly.
Big plays for DM.
And how much damage on the Tier 4s, too? I mean, they almost dropped from all those creeps.
I mean, that's the scary thing, right? Like, you get into a bad position for Entity now, and you could get a Diabolic Edict TP onto the Tier 4s. They have a glyph still, but it is by no means safe.
And they're just pumping up BZM. They hand him the Ags, I believe, as well. So he has now got Nihilism as well, too. He's super tanky, as we've seen a couple of these fights. I think he had... I think he got like a crazy amount of strength from the Heavenly Grace. I think he had like 4,600 HP. They're having trouble bringing him down and the Drow.
OG are smoked up as 4. Now, there's no tree for 40 seconds. They know this.
Watson's BKB CD as well.
He bought back earlier. Watson, they jump, they find, they lift. No Dark Pact. He gets it out a little bit late, but he does manage to escape that round.
Holy.
That was so close to the end of the game. And Fishman, he is going to get caught and killed.
70 seconds. He was hiding behind tree on Watson. He kind of knew, so as soon as he breaks, he pocked the Dark Pact and he's okay, but OG.
Take down the big creep and ready to push out this wave.
Oh boy.
So OG maybe feeling confident trying to go for the Megas. Even if they get Megas, this game is not going to be over, so they can't all in for it.
And these heroes do kind of suck at dealing with Megas.
It's true.
They don't have like the Drow themselves. They don't have like a Battle Fury. They have some, yeah, their supports can't kill them either. So this could be dangerous moments here for Entity.
And they do it.
He's massive. Leading the push.
Trying to take down this Tier 2. And then the big question is, are they going to all in for this Tier 3 tower? The cheese on Taiga. BZM steps up. Yuragi starts punching Toby. It's lifted. DM rolling back and forth. A little bit of a lag spike there. They managed to get a stun onto DM, but they're buying some time.
He's resetting out. He jumps away. That's Exorcism. Entity wants to chase.
BZM taunting as he escapes, and they can't quite connect onto him. So Entity stuck in their base now. OG have played the last 15 minutes very, very well.
Yeah, it feels amazing for them. And Entity, it's like they don't have Refresher for this Death Prophet, so a lot of their damage is just gone at the moment. I think he might actually have to just like go try to buy it somehow. I mean, I see he's trying to maybe get his Overwhelming Blink, but I think he might have to just get Refresher.
Yeah, he's sending it over to the... Oh,
yeah,
wait, they're going to see it, though.
He switches the itemization right away, so he's buying Refresher on DP.
They see it. They see the courier.
Will they be able to cut it off, though?
Well, they might just try and go for the all-in right now. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to cut it off.
Yeah, Refresher's coming. And Stormstormer knows that he can't just go for Overwhelming Blink, even though he's got the components.
X there. BZM immediately taking it off. Doing the damage to the
push.
Tier 3. There's no
happening.
glyph. No glyph here. Throws out the split earths. Stun.
Toby.
Jump. Toby. Gone. They find another. Taiga, he gets away. Katomi looking for a big overgrowth, but the save is there. Taiga living for so long. Look at the regen. He comes back to life immediately. A whole mess of damage in the middle, but the big one I'm seeing is all these health bars starting to drop for Entity. Will it be enough? As the BKBs wear off, they get a little bit of distance from Yuragi's in trouble. Now he's in trouble. Controlled and killed. Buyback comes out from Misha and the Rubik. So they were able to survive through all of that.
I mean, they got on top of the Drow. She has none of this agi. They're just in her face with both the Slark and the Death Prophet. Able to bring it down. 2 buybacks from the supports. That was the refresher reveal there from Stormstormer. Nice play too. Refreshes, drops it into the backpack, puts the Shivas into, and just goes right into the face of Drow.
DD down on the top side. Taken by DM.
Toby actually takes the Wolf Summon instead of the Howl reduces total attack damage. It's been interesting. Ever since that one's been added, I think I've always seen it taken, especially versus something like Drow. But either way, fight's just so chaotic.
Yeah. Get more wolves in there. I guess more push if you can win a fight ever. Get your lane shoved out. But 58 minutes, we're going to get another tier 5 neutral items.
Get tier 5s. Hell yeah, let's go, baby.
Yeah, they're not moving out again without Yuragi, and he doesn't want to use buyback by any stretch of the imagination.
Also scared to fight. You have to be careful when these longer kind of fights go, and the Slark ends up winning the fight. There's 150 agi or something on Watson, so you just have to kind of lay it back, chill a little bit, wait for your Drow. Don't force anything too much here. OG. Still feels like it's anyone's game, even though it's been kind of in their favor now for the last 20 minutes or so, according to Dota Plus. But Entity, they're still getting on the Drow.
I mean, the other thing that I'm thinking about, there's a couple big neutral items that could come out for OG. You got Book of the Dead, and you got Force Boots.
Yes.
That would be huge.
Yeah, full ways to reset for Yuragi, and then, yeah, there's that split push. We've seen Book of the Dead in China win a 70-something minute game before, so could happen.
Let's see if they go stack those Ancients.
30 seconds. Or do we see like a ward? That's what we've seen too. Teams prep for teams to go farm it. They put a ward down and then wait, but at the moment, kind of like 0 wards on the map for both sides.
Dude, look at how big BZM is, by the way. 50,000 net worth. Bots 2 has the BKB backpacked. This guy's a monster.
Almost 30. He is definitely a problem. He's just run out of slots though. That's the one issue for him.
Right.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, it is a problem.
All right, here we go. Neutral item. They did not stack the Ancients.
Oh, they're trying to.
Them up, but
there they go. Stack them up.
Oh, the other side. I meant my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So OG will stack it. So higher chance of getting these items. Book of Shadows.
Arcanist armor.
Book of Shadows could be pretty big on the side of Entity to just keep Stormstormer alive. The support's throwing it onto him. Apex for the Drow.
Oh my god.
Tiger's like, here you go, buddy. Alrighty.
Oh my goodness. Look at his agi in a second here. Yeah.
Boom. Look at the armor.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, if they don't get on top of Drow, they lose the fight 100% now. So, that's kind of been the case for a long time now, but even more so at this point is now BZM Mirror Shield, big one. Do they find anything on Entity?
Stygian.
Giant Ring, I mean, not the most useful, but it's something.
Maybe Lycan or something like that?
So they've gotten what? They've gotten 4 or something on the side of OG, and Entity's only gotten 1 so far.
Force Boots.
They've gotten all 5.
Dude, Force Boots. That's why you stack Ancients.
That is why you stack Ancients, indeed. They'll have another round, Entity. Let's see what they get.
I wonder if OG just try and push it with this wave, or if you want to sit back and wait for that Roche. I guess waiting for Roche is probably the play.
Ooh, Apex for themselves.
Seer
all right.
Stone.
Swap that one in for Watson and Searstone. Who are you going to give that to? Is anyone going to take that?
Lesh takes the Force Boots. Pango takes the Stygian. Drow still Apex.
Okay, and Misha has a Mirror Shield, so he can actually maybe protect himself even more now.
Why not? Ooh, Ex Machina.
Okay, that's the dream for Death Prophet. So plus 20 armor versus Drow. Resetting all these cooldowns on the items too. Double hexes and whatnot.
That's such a big pickup.
Yeah. Literally a pickup off the floor.
Yeah, you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Giant String on Toby too. I mean, okay. Whew, these fights have already been pretty much chaos, but it's just everybody clustered together.
Yeah. And that is still a thing that I'm sort of seeing as a problem, right? The Drow with the Apex, it doesn't really solve that issue of getting on top of her.
DD top. This could be the solution for both sides. Who gets it? Toby. He's the cliff checker.
Watson gets it.
I don't think I've seen Lycan with the Giant String. He looks pretty goofy. He is enormous.
He's a strong fellow.
I love it.
All right, DM prepping for the roll. They send in the Wolves. They see him now.
I mean, this is everything here, these next moments. Roche is back up. Ghosts.
Jump right at the start onto that Lesh. Hex, but still fine for the moment. Need to get a little bit of separation. Katomi, they force him down to the low ground, and now the Hex, the control, he doesn't have another round of it. Yuragi, they're on top of him, but can he stay alive? Watson turn, Gust force back, trying to keep him alive on this drought. Another force staff keeping her away from them. Taiga has another lift in a second if they need it. BZM out, has the stun, the control is there. They're dropping low on Entity, but have already lost Misha. Now the control is there. Stormstormer right on top of this drought, trying to kill her off. Yuragi hoping to survive through this.
He's
DM
living.
jumps in. They find the kill. Yuragi living through it all, and now the turn onto Fishman, onto Stormstormer. Yuragi made it happen in perfect fashion, and Entity, they are going to lose this game.
It looks like it, absolutely. They can't kill the full duration exorcism, not enough to kill the drow. They're able to reset Yuragi, keep him alive. BZM, I don't even want to see how much damage BZM just... Okay, 13k damage. They have to put all the attention to stick on Drow, and BZM just free fires the entire team fight.
Holy moly.
It took them
crazy.
63 minutes, but I believe they've done it. Infinite tiebreakers, let's go.
It's happening, it's happening. Cheese on the ground, and still 60 seconds without 3 of their heroes. I mean, you've got Death Prophet, you've got Slark, but I think they've got more.
I don't think they can do that. I think they can probably just commit forward. BZM himself, he's got Refresher, so he can even just double Edict and go for it.
They're ready for it. OG want to commit all the way. No buybacks for a little while, although Silencer just gets it now. Okay, Silencer has buyback. BZM turns, the Abyssal Blade is there. Want to roll back and forth onto Stormstormer. He's not buying back on the Silencer. Does it now for Fishman. Gets the global. Control is there. They find the Slark. He's in trouble. He's controlled. He's Hex. He didn't get anything off. Watson is going to die. Dead for 2 minutes. The tiebreaker dream. Infinite is real. Stormstormer, he can't believe it. Look at his face. Oh my God. GG round 3.
I mean, the perseverance and endurance really from OG. Unbelievable performance this game. They're on the back foot. Literally almost the whole, like up to like what, 45 minutes or so. They pick